Yellow little children. Okay, we're going to continue today on book 2A, textbook 2A, with our maths. And we're going to continue from where we left off yesterday. So we are on page 117, and we're going to do questions 4 to 7. Okay, now these are very similar to yesterday's, just using different lengths. And you can refer back to the yellow box to help you. If you've got any questions, you can ask me. So, since 1 metre is 100 centimetres, how many centimetres are there in 4 metres? Okay, so 4 metres equals 400 centimetres. What did I do there? I multiplied by 100. Now that is not the same as adding 2 zeros. That is not the same as adding 2 zeros. That is me moving left 2 columns. So from the units column to the hundreds column, and then filling in the empty columns. And that is important when you get to D and beyond. Okay, because and then especially at L at the very end. If you move everything, if you think in terms of columns and move everything 2 columns to the left, then you shouldn't have any trouble. Just be careful with D and H, because they're fractions that you need to change into decimals. Okay? They're fractions that you need to change into decimals. Number 5, remember 100 centimetres equals 1 metre. So how many metres are there in 600 centimetres? 600 centimetres equals 6 metres. What did I do there? I didn't just take away 2 zeros. I divided by 100. And that means moving everything 2 columns to the right. So the 6 goes from the 100 column into the units column. And that is going to cause you, unless you're confident of your columns, once you get to the letter G and H in particular, you're going to struggle. You must remember columns. Please, if it helps you, write the names of the columns. I do not mind you doing that. Write the names of the columns above so that you don't get confused. There is absolutely no shame in doing that. So please, much better to take your time, lay it out neatly and get it right than to rush through, make mistakes and then not be completely clear on what you're doing. Let's look at number 6. Now, number 6, again, is the same kind of thing, but because we're dealing in thousands, we've gone from tens to hundreds, and now we're dealing in thousands. Okay? And this is helpful. This is helpful not just for centimetres, metres, and length. It's also helpful for volume. It's helpful for weight. It's helpful for, I'm trying to think of other things. I think that's it, volume and weight, because it's the same numbers. It's different units, but it's the same numbers. Okay, so let's look at 6. 1 kilometre equals 1,000 metres. Write down how many metres there are in 4 kilometres. So 4 kilometres equals 4,000 metres. I've multiplied by 1,000. Let me say again, I have not just added 3 zeros on. I have moved my number. I've moved the 4 3 columns to the right, from the units column to the thousands column. So let's look at B. 15 kilometres. Now remember, The 1 is in the tens column, and the 5 is in the units column. And it is the units column that needs to be in the thousands column. So you need to think about how that's going to move up. And all the same things apply. You need to be absolutely certain of your columns. Absolutely certain of your columns. And again, if it helps, write your columns down. Number 7. This is the last one today. 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. Write down how many kilometers there are in 3,000 meters. 3,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. Again, I moved my three columns to the right from the thousands column into the units column. And then when you get to D, C and D, you're going to start into the decimals. Okay? So after that, there's going to be a mixture of ones with decimals and without decimals. Okay. So that is today's work.